Hey everybody, I am ShadowRock, your humble host, and that is TGP.
Hi there.
And today, welcome back to another Let's Discuss episode where we're going to talk about our thoughts of Mega Man Binary 6. And this is going to be a post-LP discussion because literally we just finished the LP. It was fun, but there were a lot of things that we couldn't really say about our feelings about the game and other little tidbits because a lot of times during LPs, you just don't have enough time to talk about what you really want to because either something happens in the game that completely distracts you or numerous other things that could possibly happen during an LP. It is quite the wild ride. So we decided to come up with these post-LP discussions to talk about things that we may have wanted to say, but we couldn't. So the first thing we're going to talk about is our first impressions of the game. Now, I suppose I'll start first.
Yeah.
This game came out, at least in North America, in like 2006. So I was... it's been 10 years, right? So I was like 13 years old at the time.
Yeah, I was 15.
Yeah. So...
We're old.
we are... Oh my goodness gracious, we're old. But yeah, I was 13. And I remember I was watching these videos online. It was like, it's Mega Man Banner 6, a new game, yay! Cause like, I was a diehard Banner fan then. I ever since 4, I always got a new Banner game on the release day. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the first 3 games, at least, I always got it like after the fact because that was when I was still getting into the games. But by the time 4 came out, I was like, alright, I'm ready. But anyways, going back to 6, yeah. New announcement came out. It's going to be about Beast. I was like, alright, it's a little random, but alright, I'll take it. And I remember watching these like trailers. And I think I was on IGN.com and like they had these little gameplay videos of like, there's like no music, but they were showing off the beasts, you know, like just ripping them apart. I was like, alright, that looks pretty dope actually, gameplay wise. And yeah, it was a cool addition to the beast out system. But yeah, then they finally came. I went to GameStop, got my game. Oh yeah, I can't wait to play it. And I got home, and then our very own Yang, who is part of the team and all that, we've been best friends for years, even back then. He's like, yo man, can I come over? Yo man, I just got this game, I kind of want to play it. Because I'm one of those people that, when I get a new game, I like to experience it alone, by myself, with no one distracting me. You know, nothing bad about him per se. It's just how I am. Unless it's like a multiplayer game, and yeah, I'll like experience it with other people. But if it's a single player game like Battle Network, and yeah, I just want to sit there and be in my zone.
Just want to play my game, man.
Just want to play my game. So literally the whole time he was over at my house, I pretty much ignored him. I'm not gonna lie. I just sat there and played. He was like, well, I do. Well, you're gonna watch me play. Because I had the Game Boy player on the GameCube. So literally just slapped the game in there. And we played Battle Network all day on the TV.
Nice.
I'm not even gonna lie, I beat it in a day. Like the morning of the next day, I was at the final part of the game and I beat Gregar version. Because I picked Gregar back then. That was my version of choice. And yeah, that was it. I beat him. The game was really short. Holy crap. And that's not even because at one point actually when I was playing that night, I lost my save file, I think. I got to like Judgment scenario, and then like my save file wiped for some reason. I was like, alright, I guess I gotta do this again. It's like, I didn't even care, it was a new game, you know. I just want to see the whole thing through. So me and Yang just sat there and played through the whole game again. And yeah, it was fun. But I remember, I think Yang may have been a little a little annoyed at me because I was literally just ignoring him just to play through the game. But yeah, he was there when I beat it the first time, and that's pretty much how I felt about the game as far as my first impressions though. Like, it was really short. There wasn't a whole lot to it as far as the story. But I did have fun. Like, I like the cross system. It was a major improvement over the soul system. The beasts were fun to play with. But it was an extremely short game. It was very easy to play. I remember when I beat Gregor too, like, yo, this is easy. Well, it's just the final boss.
Yeah, man. So I guess it's my turn to get to my first impression.
Yeah, you can. I just want to say, for reference, every time throughout the Banner series, before Gregor, the first time I played each Banner game, I don't think I ever beat the first boss on my first attempt. So, that goes to say how easy Gregor was.
So, unlike ShadowRock here, I didn't get it launch day. In fact, I didn't get it till...
Oh, I got on launch day.
You got it launch. I didn't. I didn't play that game till years later. We'll get into the time frame in another segment, but yeah, I played it pretty late. It was like during my senior year in high school, which is like 2008, 2009. I started playing it. So, and I'll tell you, like, the only thing I really was able to watch was like trailers and like just videos of people putting it up, because like, whoa, man, this game is great.
Yeah, I went to. Well, my playthrough is completely blind because I literally just watched the trailers from Capcom or other media outlets. I didn't watch any playthroughs of people.
Yeah, I didn't either, but like, I saw like the crosses and most importantly, G-Beast, and I was like,
right.
Oh, I want it. Like the two things that really got me into this game that I just had to yell at my mom and say, I want it, even though she didn't get it. It's okay though. But the two things was G-Beast and Slash Man. Because Slash Man, as you know, is my favorite thing in all Mega Man, including Mega Man 7. He was my favorite Robot Master. I loved him to death. And when I found out he was in this game, I was like, I need to get it. But I never got it.
Yo, I know the feels, man, because little embarrassing story here, but I had like a legit temper tantrum whenever my mom threatened not to get me Banner 5 when I was about to come out. I was like, no! But I still got it.
Mom Plus.
I was like, Mom Plus, I'll be a good boy now.
So, it was years later that I had discovered emulators. And I was like, what is that? It's an emulator. So, oh yeah, you can like play the game on your computer. I'm like, I have a computer. I won't play this game. So, literally my first ever experience of using an emulator for anything was actually ShadowRock. So I was like, yes!
Me too, actually.
Finally playing this game! Yeah! So, like him, I beat it in the day. I played just all the way through. And I was so hyped for this game. And after I finished the game... I didn't 100% it, because it wasn't that good.
Oh yeah, like, we beat the main story in the day. We didn't do the post-game play yet.
So, I beat the game, and... I'm not gonna lie, I felt disappointed afterwards. I was like, that's it?
That was my reaction too.
Like,
like, that's it?
This is how you end the game? Now granted, the ending now to me is like, oh man, this is a great way to end the game. But back then I was a little kid. I was a prick.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it?
I think the ending itself still touched me, but I was a little disappointed about how ridiculously short it was and how easy the bosses were.
The thing that really got me really disappointed, and this happened like throughout me playing the game, is I felt this game was very easy. I was like, wow, this game is really easy. It's like, you don't even have to try. And because, like, I played the previous games. Boy, those games were hard.
Yeah, they were.
Like, I remember, like, I remember when I was playing Battle Network 4, that was, like, the only game I ever bought. God bless my soul for that. But, so I bought this game, and I'm, like, fighting the final boss, Duo, and I didn't beat him for, like, a month.
Yeah.
I just could not beat him. It was, like, super hard. I'm like, what are we doing wrong?
The one that gave me the most trouble by far was Nebula Gray, probably. Yeah,
but, like, and the thing is, too, the only reason why I know about the other games, because my cousin played the other games. He's bought 2, 3, he also bought 4, but I had my own, and he bought 5. So I played the other games through him, but he never bought 6, so I never really exposed myself to it at all. So, yeah, I'm here going back to the bosses. I'm here, like, struggling with Duo. I just cannot beat him for the life of me. Like, little me needed to get good, essentially. And when I beat him, it was, like, the greatest feeling ever. But then when I beat Gregar, which is my choice, obviously, I was like, that's it.
Yeah, because I remember back in the day, it took me weeks to beat each of the Battle Network games, but with Battle Network 6, you beat it in a day.
And I was like, what a way to end the game. I was like, I mean, I still thought the game was great. Like, you know, I love the crosses. I love, like, the navies. But it was like, and I mean, I love the chips too, but I'm like, oh, okay. Alright.
I guess, in a way, it ended too fast for us.
So, basically, at that point, I just put the game away. I just, like, set it aside. It's probably still on my laptop somewhere. I don't know where, but it's probably in there. And I'm like, oh, okay. Whatever, man. So, time passes by. That was basically our first impressions of the game. And, like, we're like, what, man? Like,
this game's alright, but it went by a little too fast for our likings.
And then the both of us, different times, mind you, we both encountered a website. It's a pretty familiar website if you do follow us frequently, or you were part of it yourself.
If you're, like, really into the Battle Network community at all.
But it was a pretty big website called the Rockman EXE Zone,
or Trez for short.
And this was like, this wasn't very long after I beat the game. Like, I played the game, then it was like months passed by.
For me, it was years passed by since I played it when it first came out.
I mean, I'll probably go back and look at when I joined. I know it was during high school, like, probably, like, near the end of high school, going into college.
I was, like, a freshman in high school, more or less.
But, yeah, I remember I didn't play the game for a while, and, then Trez came along. I cannot for the life of me remember how I came across this website.
I can tell my story of how I came across it. And this also ties into kind of how I got into YouTube in the first place. But first of all, I didn't start as ShadowRockZX. I started as a channel called Your Father 512. Laugh all you want. That was a dumb name I made as a kid. That was like a Star Wars reference, obviously. But yeah, I had that channel, and I started out making like a bunch of AMVs of like Mega Man Star Force and Battle Network anime. The Star Force was definitely a thing at the time. So yeah, I did that, and then I came across like Battle Network videos on YouTube. These people doing these cool things. For example, they're doing these challenges where they would take these challenges from people like no damage, only use this chip code, stuff like that. But at first they would just do, you know, like just fight Judgment or something like that. But then eventually all these crazy videos came out where you could play as base. You could fight Judge Man, Element Man, another Judge Man if you wanted to, and Circus Man all at once. Bam, fighting 4 navis all at once. Like, holy crap, that's mind blowing. So I was like, alright, I'll get to this challenging business. And there was this website, I don't remember the name of it for the life of me, but there was this forum. It was like a challenge takers forum. And that's basically where a lot of people went to kind of make their own little forums within the forum of like their challenge taking. You can make your own rules, like don't give me this challenge or some crap like that. And then people would just post there like what they want you to do, and that's where I got some of my very first challenges when I first started the channel. It was from that forum. But there was something else I wanted to do to actually, you know, bolster my challenges. And that was where I found Trez. They had these hacking guides where you could actually hack battles and do a lot of other crazy things to the game. So that was somewhere I went to actually make my videos better, you know, do cooler things than just, I'll just fight base SP. So that's pretty much how I found Trez.
Actually, now talking about it, I actually do remember how I found Trez. It was while watching through like videos and whatnot, I encountered this one particular channel. People might not remember this channel because I'm pretty sure this channel is gone by now, and they actually, by the time I started watching them, I believe they're already gone at this point. But if you really remember, I unfortunately don't remember his whole name, but I do remember like the important part of his name. His name was ShadowZero.
I remember him.
Yeah, I started watching his videos. Like it was just randomly recommended to me, and I'm like, I watched it, and I'm like, I don't remember which video I saw first, but it was like a challenge video. I'm like,
yeah, he has some cool videos.
I'm like, what am I watching? This is amazing.
I think that's the guy where I kind of got inspiration for my own name from, because he is like ShadowZero. So
yeah.
I guess I should say first, the way my channel before ShadowRockZX went down is because obviously the AMVs can't upload anime or you get shut down. So when I got shut down, I was like, okay, I gotta make a new channel, and I'm not gonna do AMVs anymore. I'm gonna stick to, you know, Battle Network content or wherever else I want to do. So I was like, alright, I need a name though. So I'm like sitting there in class during high school, like, oh, ShadowRock, that sounds like a cool name. So yeah, that's who I am now.
And not only did I meet, I didn't meet him, but not only did I encounter ShadowZero, but I also encountered another channel, and this one's a bit more familiar since he's still around, just not doing much Mega Man. Timaeus, with 2s at the end. I encountered him too, and he was doing like challenges and all this crazy stuff. I'm like, whoa, what are these people? How do they do this? And like, cause they were playing like Battle Network 6 and like all these crazy videos. I'm like, whoa, man, like what am I watching? And then I believe in one of their videos they had linked the website, Rockman EXE Zone. I'm like,
yeah,
I need to check that out. So I click on it, and one of the big thing that was like in the front page was like hacking Battle Network 6, and my pants just screamed itself super hard. I'm like, first of all, I didn't even know what that meant,
right?
But I was like, are you telling me I get to do stuff like them?
Just only if you make 20 posts.
So yeah, way back then, when you first joined because they had like the one main guide for Battle Network 6 that was available for public.
It was on their main website and all that.
And that was cool, but they had more things in the forums themselves. Like they had, I mean, granted, it wasn't as much as they have now, but it was still like stuff you can learn and do because it was still like in the how do I say it? People were still learning. Mega Rock EXE, the one of the head honchos of the website, he was still in the learning process as well. So it was still a growing site. The whole thing was like,
there was new stuff being discovered all the time.
So though there wasn't much, there was still quite a bit, but it was locked away. Like you couldn't see it. Like if you try to like go in the forum, like to like one of their forums, it was like, no, you can't. So in order to become a member, you had to first of all sign up, make your name and all that, and then you had to contribute 20 posts to the whole entire forum itself. That was like the rule. It's like, if you want to like learn how to do this stuff, want to be a part of the community.
It was mainly set up so that you had to like actually be a part of the website, actually contribute to it. You can't just like look at the forum and stay inactive and go away.
Yeah, but like not necessarily contribute to what they were doing, but like be a part of the community there.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So yeah, for me it took me a while because one of the admins there, his name is Nemomon. He was, and I can't say for sure now, but he was pretty strict about it. He was like, he would like check your posts and make sure it was like, you know, wasn't spam. So basically, he'd make sure that you actually tried and you actually cared, not just dude who just wanted guides.
Yeah.
So that happened, and I finally got into forum like that. It took me like a week, but I finally got in, and we just learned all these things, man. Like,
I mean, that's where the whole world opened up as far as banner modding.
Like everything, like my life. Well, it wasn't life changing, but it was.
Yeah, not really life changing, but it was like a big part of our lives at the time.
I was like, whoa, holy crap! Like, it was very eye opening. So this disappointing game went from to I want to play this game.
Yeah, it pretty much reignited our passion for Banner 6, which is where Trez ties into the whole discussion we're having. You might do his old cool stuff, and you can talk to these big hotshot net battlers like Tomas, whatever his name is, how you pronounce it. Yeah, it's cool.
It was great.
And that's how we met in a way, me and you.
Well, it's really funny because we kind of met, but we didn't actually talk. We were just there.
Mainly the way we got to know each other first is because there's a guy named Aggro, which I became friends with. He was a very, very young guy, but he was also like one of the best modders in the community. So he taught me a lot of cool stuff, actually, to help with stuff like Rise of the Shadows that you guys like. At least some of you loyal fans like. So the way me and TGP met was Aggro made this like his own little chat room on his own site, and we spent a lot of days just sitting there and chatting with each other and some other people's. So that's how we first got to know each other.
Yeah. And basically we did what everyone else is doing at that time. Started doing challenges. In fact, my very first video was me fighting, I believe, the Gregor Navius.
My very first video on this channel, at least, was, first of all, my intro, but it doesn't really count. My first video of actual content was me fighting like 4 Aquamans, I believe. And that was actually a re-upload from my original channel.
Yeah, I don't think I went spectacular. I think I was just like, I just made it basic, just a basic battle, and then I started hacking. And I was like, oh, sweet, love it. So yeah, like this website, even though I don't frequent it anymore, and you don't either, to my knowledge, but
mainly because of, well, you guessed it, the guides, and if they find something cool that's worth checking out, then yeah, sometimes I visit there.
If it wasn't for this website, we wouldn't even be here right now. Like,
pretty much.
I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was like, man. And to this day, I appreciate ShadowRockZX a lot more than I did when I was younger.
Me too.
And like, granted, I myself don't make as many videos as I used to, but I help out here mostly now at this point, and you know, just play the game. I don't do challenges anymore. I used to do that a lot. Give them out, take them.
Same. Yeah, we both stopped doing a lot of that. We mostly focus on Let's Plays now.
Yeah, like the reason why I mostly stopped is because one, it got like very, very, very time consuming. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't seem like it shouldn't take too long, but when you really get into the nitty gritty, it takes a while. Like especially for me.
Me too.
Oh man, I was like, and then people constantly requesting you like non-stop. I'm like, guys, I'm a human being. I can't do this. I can't just plus.
Now that you mentioned it, that's why I got our challenge taking. I was like, man, I don't want to put up with it anymore.
No, don't get me wrong. I wasn't one of the popular, wasn't like one of like the really well-known ones. I was known, but I wasn't like up there. And
yeah,
like thinking back now, it's I didn't mind it at all.
I didn't mind it, but I got to a point where like, yeah, it was time consuming, and like people started sending me these really insane challenges.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do this.
Like they would send like the craziest things that were like, bro, I want you to beat Bass PX with like just the Buster, but you can't upgrade your Buster. I'm like, why?
Oh yeah, that was so dumb.
Like those are like the most dumbest requests ever. That like it got to the point where I believe in my channel I said, for the love of God, don't give me these type of requests.
No Buster Run challenges.
I hate these. This is the most boring thing ever. And like you can check back in like my old videos. By the way, they're like looking back at it, you know. Some of them I can be like, I did all right. Other ones I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, you know.
But I should probably get on touching this before like we really stray off too far. But the one thing I really did with Trez was like what I wanted to do was I was obsessed with palettes, like the colors and like the text and all that.
He was
like
he's super wise.
I was like I mean there was more things to do, but I was like, no, I love my colors, man. That's why I was weird back then. Okay, that's basically it.
The main thing that came out of Trez, besides the challenges, was obviously Rise of the Shadows, and my inspiration came from that was I saw a YouTube channel that some of you guys that were around like forever ago may recognize, maybe not, but his name was The Sword User, and he had a series called The Official Net Battlers, and it was basically just a series of like screenshots of these nabbies sitting around having conversations, and it was funny, you know. He did some skits and all that, and
yeah, it was like it was primitive, simple,
but awesome.
It was entertaining, and
yeah.
And I think that was another thing I started doing too, even though I never really finished them. But I just wanted to write because I like to write things, I just never put it out in public. But I like my favorite thing to do was to like tell a story if I could. And that's kind of what I did a little bit here and there. And then you started with Rise of the Shadows.
Yeah, I wrote some of the episodes, but then eventually Yang helped a little bit, maybe not too much, because he was kind of doing his own thing, but I also had my friend Keyblade of Venom, he was known at the time. Nowadays he goes by Noiverse, but he played a big part in the beginning of Rise of the Shadows. He helped with a lot of the scripts. Yeah, and we also worked together on like a lot of crazy shenanigan videos of 5 or 6, like, you know, like random battles or anything. But yeah, I owe a lot to that guy. And we're still friends to this day. We just don't talk as much anymore.
Man, this this website, it did a lot to us in a great way. It's basically what I wouldn't be like. I legitimately wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them, and yeah, that's a really cool thing to say. And for that, thanks, man, for making this website. And just no, like I said, I don't frequent it much anymore, and they're still doing stuff here and there, not as frequent as they were before, but
right, like it's starting to wind down as far as the modding side. Like things aren't being discovered as much anymore because they pretty much come through the entire game at this point.
But yeah, it's like it was great. It was great times, and I'll always thank you for that.
Yeah,
Thank you for tolerating my weird self, because God.
Yo, I was weird too.
We all were when you were younger. Just like literally no denying it whatsoever.
Argo BL's really dumb too, but you know, we grew up.
But another thing that we also did besides modding and challenges and stuff like that was PvPs.
Yes, we did.
Now, I wasn't too much of a PvP guy. I did it like for a good long while. But I wasn't as like super passionate as the two people I will mention in a little bit. But yeah, because I think Hamachi was like kind of newish at the time.
It was iffy.
Yeah, it was really iffy at the time. Like when I first heard, oh man, you can like battle people like across the internet, I'm like, really? That's so cool. It's amazing. It was great. And so I remember I did my very first one. It was pretty bad. Not because like the battle itself was bad, but the lag was horrible.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
The lag was.
Oh my god. Like, we didn't know very much back then.
No, we didn't.
But it was still fun nonetheless. Like,
cause like it was like you could fight people online. What is this?
But then we were like, oh, it's really, really laggy and whatnot. Yeah. But I battled like friends. I battled like few fans of mine that I had just battle for fun, and I battled like a few other friends I made in Trez. I don't think we ever fought each other until like recently. But
I think we did. Actually, I have a video of us playing each other, I think, before recently. Like way back in the day.
Really? Because I don't remember.
I kind of remember, but anyways, my very first opponent was a guy named Darkcross, and he's kind of infamous, or maybe famous, for making the Darkcross patches that a lot of people liked back in the day.
Oh man, that guy was great.
Yeah, he was. Like, he was the best at what he did. But yeah, he was my first opponent, and he beat me a lot at first, but I eventually beat him.
Yeah, we were like really bad back then, but yeah, we got a little bit. I mean, to this day, I don't consider myself the best. I consider myself decent.
I consider myself like average, if anything. So, but I remember I started to do more net battles. Like I fought, aggro you maybe. I played with a lot of other people, and eventually I started to get a little reputation on the channel. Like, oh man, this guy's so good at Mega Man. Oh my god.
Yeah, like that was like kind of like the thing that happened. Like, people were like battling. Like, people would like post their videos on YouTube.
And usually, except for TGP, but usually we would just upload our wins, right?
Yeah, that was kind of a big thing back then. People would mostly post their wins, so when people would watch it, like, wow, this guy's really good.
This guy never loses.
Lost. And like, it was like, basically it turned into like kind of like a bounty guild where, like, all right, this guy has a bounty on him. We need to beat this guy.
Like,
type
people
of deal.
made it their mission to beat me in a net battle and upload it to YouTube to show that I can lose. And other people too, like Timaeus was one of the big ones. Like, somebody needs to beat this guy.
Yeah.
Well, they do beat him. He just doesn't upload it. Nothing against him, but you know, that's just
there is no animosity against the people I beat at all, or like the ones who don't show their wins. I mean, because the thing is, like, it makes perfect sense. Why would I upload something that I lose in the end?
Yeah, like, it's just not cool.
But the reason why I did it was to basically show that I'm not like some super amazing guy. I'm human. I will lose. And that's the reason why I did it. It's to basically show off that, yeah, I'm not invincible. You can beat me. It is completely possible.
Kind of get some of that bounty off of you.
Well, not just that, but it's like, basically it's to kind of relate to everybody else. I wasn't like this super machine. No, nothing against the people who didn't upload those losses. Completely nothing against you. But it was like, yeah, I basically did it just to be honest. And but yeah, man, these people, like, they got nuts. And as I mentioned before, there are two people to this very day that I believe they do to this very day still net battle, and I will give them mad props and mad respect for their passion for the PvP, because like, they're good. Like, I will never bash them at all, because they're like pretty good. You might know one of them, because
I definitely know one of them,
and the other one, she's kind of there. I mean, she's around, but she doesn't show her face very often. The two people are talking about are Leo Tony, aka Cloudmar, and Salad.
Oh, I know both of them in that case.
Yeah, they're both very known as a PvP. Like, that's what they do. Like, and
Salad is one of those people where she'll be like, yo, this game is the most balanced game in existence. If you don't think otherwise, fight me and I'll show you. Like, she's like that.
Like, basically, if you say something is bad, she'll prove why it's not.
Right.
And because they know the ins and outs of this. I wish I had that passion. I just not as much. So that's why I give him like super mad props. Mm-hmm. Like, I fought Leo Tony. I've never once beaten him in a match. He's just good. Like,
I never fought him, period.
To quote Star Fox, like, I'm good. Well, I'm gonna say it backwards, but I'm good, but he's better. Like,
you're good, but I'm better.
Exactly. He's like that. And it's like, I'm like gushing a bit, but it was like, whoa.
They're good at what they do. We'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm like, can't hate them. They're good.
Cloudmar was part of the community net battles that we had at one time.
He was like, he was legitimately the best one there. Like, he'd always,
hands down.
He'd show off.
I'm still a little. I'm still laughing at the one time we made like the viruses challenge. Mm-hmm. This man just gets a race cross and deletes them all at once in like a couple seconds. Like,
people were beyond salty when they saw that, but it's like, yeah, you can do that.
You can do that.
Yeah, there's nothing against it. And they're like, what?
Yeah, good times.
But yeah, when it comes to PvP, they're like the top dogs in terms of Battle Network, because, man, like, back then I didn't really appreciate PvP too much, but when they came around or they were like showing off their skills, I'm like, yeah, this game can get really good.
Yep.
That's all.
Fun, but it's not really for me. First of all, I'm not really into online gaming, period. So I don't really play with people a lot.
Like, I'd get into it every once in a while. I just feel it. Actually, I completely forgot about that I mentioned this, but Trez is also the reason it's the sole reason of why me and Umber are like best friends at this point. Because that's where I met him. Met him to chat. And like, of the two of us, he was like the better person for PvP because he was pretty good at it. And it's funny, we didn't even get in touch with patches.
Yeah, we didn't really touch on the patches, did we?
We'll touch on it like a little bit here, but that was another huge thing when it came to Trez.
Oh, yeah. Like, I was a part of it too. He was a part of it too.
Like,
we all made our own patches.
It's like, we gotta make our patches. We gotta make our patches. Bruh.
What we mean by patches is like, patches is a weird name to call it, but it's basically like a mod where you're basically making your own game in a way. It's still Banner 6, but you have your own chips and your own bosses that people can create by doing all these crazy hacks.
The most popular patch will probably always be Mega Rocks, because he did some pretty interesting things that I don't think anyone has done.
Yeah, he did. Dark Cross is up there too.
Yeah, like Dark Cross is like, I would say, one of the better Gregor patches.
Yeah.
And Brian's patch as well with the Star Forest, that was like another pretty good patch. And
oh yeah, people are gushing over that.
And in terms of like Falter too, like there's your patch that you have. Timaeus has a Falter patch that was had as well. And something that came up recently, it's not necessarily like one of those crazy patches that adds chips or anything, but basically it was, I believe, created by Professor 9. There might have been others as well, but there was the hard mode patch, which basically makes the whole game harder.
Yeah.
And the randomizer, which creates basically it's like the Pokemon randomizer where you get random Pokemon, but instead you get random chips.
Yeah, random chips. We still need to check that out one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was, still pretty recently, like last year, the EXE6 translation patch by EXE Guy 11, which is what I use for my Let's Play.
So yeah, like, that was like another huge thing with that, and it kind of became like a little competition of like, who can outshine the other type of deal.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it did get nuts.
And there was a time when some people, I won't say names, but some people were like, "Don't take my idea, bro." If you put something in your patch and somebody else thought of it, they'll give you flack for it.
Oh yeah, they'll be like, "He did it first." It was nuts.
Even if you don't have any knowledge of it. Yeah.
It got pretty intense. Still fun nonetheless. I still look back, I'm like, man, those are good times.
Yeah.
We were complete butts, but man, good times.
It pretty much defined my high school years. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it did mine as well. It was pretty cool. It was great. Man, this has been quite a discussion, man.
It has been quite a discussion. You want to get to our final thoughts then?
Yeah, might as well get to our final thoughts, man.
So basically, our first impressions were kind of meh. It was a cool game, but it just was too easy. Yeah, it went by a little too fast. But as we got really into Trez and everything, Banner 6 became a lot more appreciative in our eyes.
Like, literally, it would Trez, the community themselves, like the people themselves, and like just growing up in general, I appreciated the game and the whole series, and Mega Man in general, to be honest,
Yeah.
a lot more. A lot more than before. And for that, thank you. Thank you for making this quite the ride. Something I can honestly say I really love.
Yeah, if it wasn't for, everybody, I might not be here today. He probably wouldn't be here.
We probably,
talking to me.
to be honest, we probably wouldn't have even been friends.
Exactly. Like literally, Binary 6 brought us all together. So, that's cool.
Like, you always get those people who are like, oh man, you suck. Stuff like that, but I'm like,
Whatever.
The way I see it is, if you have haters, you're doing something right.
Haters are your best friends. Shut your mouth. your best fans, I should say.
So, like, really, it's just great that I can honestly say that this is like one of my favorite series of all times.
Same here, man.
Man, this has been great talking. Just talk.
Of course, man. And of course, I gotta give thanks to the people today that are still really passionate about Mega Man Battle Network. Like, it kind of met its heyday back when Trez first came out, but nowadays the Battle Network community has kind of died down. Not to blame them at all. It's basically because there hasn't been any games to talk about. So
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
People move on. But hey, like, the people who are still there, you're still pretty cool as hell.
It's still pretty cool, and of course there's our viewers that are maybe listening to this right now that are super into the series, and I thank you guys for especially watching the LP and all my content throughout the years. And yeah, we wouldn't be here about anybody, honestly.
Like, literally, we would not be a thing at all if it wasn't for this whole series.
Exactly.
In fact, this video wouldn't even exist.
Right?
It'd be funny if you just cut it off right there and just end the video right there. But that'd be great. But anyways, guys, it's been a bit of a discussion, but we'll let you guys get back to doing what you were doing before. So
Before we hit the hour mark.
Yep. It's been TGP.
It's been ShadowRock. Thanks for watching, and rock on.
Peace out.